You can hit the gym 5 times a week, go work out in a field, lift weights, even get visible abs. But if you can't control your body in space with power, like suspending yourself in a human flag, twisting into a flare, spinning into a vault, then you don't have mastery. You have decoration. Most people never get there, not because it's impossible, but because they never understand the truth. Bodyweight mastery is about building both muscle and intelligence, that is, neuromuscular strength. And to unlock that, you need more than just reps. You need a rewiring of how you train, think, and even move through your day. You've been taught to chase more muscle, more flexibility, more cardio, good nutrition, and while all of those are wonderful pieces of the puzzle of being a strong human, they're only small, disconnected pieces. The bigger picture is the combination of forces and stress and how well you can deal with it. Let me put it bluntly. If you can't control rotational forces around your joints, you're done before you start. Take a simple planche lean. Shoulders past the fingers, on tops of feet, turtle shell. The moment your shoulders drift past your wrists, your serratus, transverse abdominis, deltoids, bicep tendons, triceps, and all the small connective tissue in your wrist are immediately put under great stress. Your wrists and elbows become anchors. The moment one stabilizer flickers, the whole chain collapses. But this strength progresses to ballistic skill, as you can see in a double Kong vault, or Broncos, or a rebound up to a box from a handstand. Same way we've trained over 5,000 students and counting in Pacific Rim athletics. It's the combination of power and precision. The physics don't lie. In any bodyweight skill, you're manipulating your limbs around a fixed mass, your own. You're not pushing something external. You're reconfiguring your center of mass over unstable support points. That requires a completely different operating system, one built on control, coordination, and a surgical relationship with leverage. This is where most people fail. Strength and flexibility without movement mastery is vanity. They train muscles, but you must train equations. And when you train equations, your body becomes a formula for force. Like Patrick, 60, shoulder problems and torn Achilles, but now doing handstands, V-stands, and muscle-ups. Every bodyweight move is a battle with torque, rotational force that multiplies with limb length and joint angle. The longer the lever, the higher the torque, and the greater the demand on stabilizers and prime movers. In other words, the taller you are, the more strength you build with bodyweight training relative to height. Example, front lever. Straight arms, full torque. Bent knees, less torque. A full front lever requires your lats, core, and posterior chain to resist a rotational force trying to rip you in half. If you don't train the torque properly, if you jump from bent knees to full lever without mastering the intermediate steps, you don't build strength, you build injury. So what do? We train the torque. We manipulate lever length. We use bridge moves that might look ugly to the observer, half straddle levers, advanced tuck progressions, eccentric movements to feed the body exactly the right stimulus at exactly the right angle. That's how you build real strength, not fake strength, not looks good on Instagram strength, but cellular level adaptation that bends physics to your will. And this advances to connecting multiple moves together, like this kata in the ninja strength element of Powerbatics. We go higher, not into your body, but into your brain. Your nervous system is the command center. It limits your force output based on perceived safety. If your joints can't stabilize fast enough, your brain slams the brakes. That's why your legs shake or your heel comes off the ground in a single leg squat. That's why your arms tremble in a handstand. Really, in any situation outside your comfort zone, your nervous system is saying, abort mission. So how do we override it? We don't push harder, we earn trust. We expose the nervous system to progressively chaotic scenarios where it learns, adapts, and rewires. This is why we use katas. This is why we teach ugly moves, because life is messy, skill is messy, and mastery comes not from perfection, but from adaptability. You train versatility through variety. You train confidence through exposure, and over time, your nervous system stops slamming the brakes. It gives you the green light instead. That's when you unlock power you didn't even know was in you. You're able to generate power and force, but not only that, handle stress in ways others find baffling. And this applies directly to life. You might have at one point been at a high level in strength and skill, or perhaps you want to get there for the first time. You might have spent years going to school or building your career. This is common, and then injuries rack up, time racks up, and you wonder where it all went. Let me put it this way. If you have career mastery and want total body mastery, don't mistake videos for instruction, but save time, energy, and resources and apply for training today. But you know the real reason why people quit and don't ever find body mastery? When progress slows, when your push-ups still have feet on the ground and you can't float in a planche or handstand, you quit. You say it's not working. That's not training. That's dabbling. To put it blunt, that's why people stay on the plateau of mediocrity. But mastery requires falling in love with the process of learning, not just the outcome. And most people don't have that mindset. They want dopamine and applause. They want tricks and not the truth. But here's the truth. Bodyweight mastery is a mirror. It shows you who you really are, your habits, your fears, your quit points. And if you lean in, if you see the plateau not as punishment, but as the birthplace of real change, you become the kind of person who doesn't flinch when things get hard. You keep going. At Pacific Rim Athletics, we build hybrids, beasts with wizard level control. That's why I share these systems with you, rooted in physics, biomechanics, and neurology. But don't forget the soul, because at the end of the day, you're not training just for aesthetics. You're training to become someone who owns their body, commands it, wields it like a blade. I don't know about you, but I'm training so I can keep having fun doing flips on the beach after a surf session. In other words, for freedom. And freedom doesn't come from comfort. Freedom comes from friction. So the choice is yours, but most people will become a servant to their nervous system when your nervous system should really be a servant to you. But you're different. You're still watching. You're still here. That tells me something. It tells me you're not afraid to train. Good. Your freedom, your confidence, and your strength requires